So in this video, we will see about uh, global functions in Oracle Fusion Cloud Groovy. So in one of the earlier session, we saw about object function. So the difference between object function and global function is object function is specific to a particular business object. It can be a standard object or it can be a custom object. So for each object, so we can write some reusable code or specific uh, logic where we can put that code in one place and then we can reuse wherever we want in that particular object. So and it can be used in triggers, validation rules, and object functions in another object functions. Object functions, okay, in field triggers or field validations, required expressions, page layouts, and page layout conditions. So everywhere we can use wherever it supports, right? Wherever it supports Groovy, within that object, we can use the same object function. So similarly, so we can use global functions, but these can be used across objects. So the meaning for this is, so we can write one global function and that can be accessed by or from anywhere in the application. It means mostly we'll use in uh, in objects, in different objects. The examples like suppose we need current user. Okay, so that returns all caps and empty if not available. So we will define the object global function here. Okay, and then we can use returns. So whether it's a string or number or whatever data type it is, and then we can also define the parameters. If you want to pass some input values to the global function, or right, so we can define these parameters and then we can pass to the code, and we can define the logic here, and then finally based on the returns type, so we can return the value. If it is void, so we don't need to return anything, but if it is something else, so we need to return the value. So privileged is one option where in some cases the the end user might not have access to the uh, access to execute code. In that case, this script can run by using a specific privilege that can be given using security role. So so this is one example, right? So another example we can make it is so generally we will get some requirements to create record or to update record, right? So will so that can be for any object, right? It may be for standard object or any custom object, uh, anything. So we need to use a specific code that should create based on some inputs. It should create some records, and also it can update some records. So what we can use is okay. So we can use this code. So here it is not given for uh, a global function. So because we have specific values here, like object name, we need to give as input, and then uh, okay, object name, and then expression, or for creating we need to give the field names and field values, and then we need to use, right? So we'll test first creating a business record. Okay, so we will copy this code, and then we will modify this code to make it a global function. Okay, and so this function we will call it as this is to create a record, right? So we'll use create record, create object records. And in this case, returns is not required, because it is creating a record, and it should not there is no need of returning any value. Okay, or if we want to return something id, so we can return, but what we can do is we just need to create some records, that's all. And the input is one input is object name. Okay, and other one is uh, map create. So map name, and that this should hold the fields and values. Okay, so these are the two inputs. Okay, so because I already defined the map here, so we don't need to provide this map. So this map will come uh, wherever we are calling this function, right? So that time we will give this map, and from this map we'll take the field names, and then we'll loop, and then we'll set the field name comma field value from the given map. And the object name also we need to make it dynamic, right? So we will remove this static value, and then we will pass the variable, so that whatever object name we will pass for this global function, that will be used here dynamically. Now validate it. This warning should be okay. We'll save and close. Okay, so now uh, we will call this object function a global function, right? So when opportunity is updated, okay, to call the global function, we need to go to functions, and then we have a global here. So we can see all the existing global functions. Some global functions are out of the box global functions. So we can select the out of the box global functions, and we need to check first our any useful global function is available or not. Then we can go with the creating custom global function. So our global function is create object record. So so when we insert it, so it gives mm, the parameter details as well. So we need to pass string and the map. So this is nothing but uh, the object name, Vivo name. So to find the Vivo, we need to go to the API name, right? So we'll create opportunity Vivo. We'll use opportunity, and map we need to create. So for creating a record, so we need to provide all the required attributes. For that, we'll go to the UI and we'll check the required attributes. So for creating an opportunity, so the only required attribute is name in this particular instance. Okay, so ideally only name is the required field. So nothing else is required. But if we have any other, uh, uh, as per customer requirements, if any other attributes are required during create, so we need to pass those fields as well in the application. So now currently I'm just passing name. So this is the map that we are creating. So there's the field name and this is the field value. So field name is name, opportunity name. Okay. So it created, means the test record from UI it created. The same way we are trying to create a record here. And after defining the map, so we will use this map here. Okay. And now we'll save and close. So we will also verify the opportunity view. The Vivo name we need to take by clicking on the object name here. Opportunity Vivo. Yeah, fine. So now we'll go back to the opportunity screen and then we'll update one opportunity, and so it should create another opportunity uh, in the background. I'm updating this opportunity. Now our code is running using the global function. Okay. It is saying opportunity view, whatever we pass it, it's not exists. So we'll try to convert or we'll try to modify it. So the view object name should be matched. It should be exactly correct. So otherwise it might throw this type of error. Yeah, no, it's correct. Okay, it created. Yeah. So now we can see using global function, uh, the opportunities created. So now, right, so opportunity is created. So the same function we can use for creating lead as well. So, okay, so how we can change, right? Uh, so we will call the same object function, okay, and we will pass here the lead Vivo. So lead Vivo is just lead, and then map is lead map we will pass. Okay, and this map we will use here. Uh, and here we need to use the uh, lead API names. And we also need to validate what are the required fields to create a lead. So again, we'll go to the lead screen and then we'll try to find out the required attributes for creating lead. So here also lead name is the only field that is required. So we'll try to create one test lead. Okay. So I'm assuming name is the same lead name. So we'll verify the lead API name and object name and as well as the field name here. So it's called sales lead. So sales lead. First we'll verify the Vivo name. Uh, it's MKL lead Vivo. Okay. So we'll try this MKL lead Vivo and also the field name for name field is yeah, lead name is lead name. Okay, so now we'll try to save, and now what it should do is it should create one opportunity. After creating opportunity, it should create lead as well. Yeah, so this is the opportunity created, and we'll go to lead. So if we observe here, I didn't change the Vivo name. For lead, it's a special case. So MKL lead Vivo is not working, but it is just lead. The Vivo name for lead is just Vivo. Uh, so for lead, it's a special case. So if it doesn't work the same name, just we can try this only for lead. This is applicable only for lead. So it created lead here with the same global function. So this applies for even for other objects. So we created one reusable code, and then we are using to create lead, to create opportunity, to create any other object. It can be service request or custom object or any other object, uh, uh, right? So that is supported in application composer. So same way to update, right? So we can use this particular code. The only difference here is we need to pass the criteria. This is update object record, right? And And here also we don't need any return. But uh, if the requirement is to get the object record, so then we might need to return something. I'll show that code as well. But to modify this, so we need to create one map here. And then object name. So the order, right? So whatever uh, this parameters we give, in the same order we need to provide while calling the object function. So before we provided object name first and then map. So here we are giving the parameter name first, map, and then object name. So we need to give the value while calling in the same way. And to update, we also need to provide some criteria, right? So that criteria also will use here. And this is also a string. And this criteria we will use in the criteria. So finally, we are providing object name and the criteria. Criteria is nothing but to which record we need to update some value, right? And then what are the fields we need to update, that also we are giving in the map. Okay, so it will update for all of those uh, uh, for that particular record. Um, so and then we need to provide here. So this is how we can use for updating a record. So this same function can be used for uh, any object in the same way. And while executing this code, we might get a few warnings. So we can ignore these warnings. The code still will work, but it will give few warnings. Right. So then one more use case is apply filter. So this apply filter is get record. Okay. And uh, so this here also we are using new view. Okay, it doesn't return anything, but so we'll to get the record also, right? So we need to use the similar code. Same way, we need to write a new view, and then we need to return finally the complete row. Okay, so we'll provide the criteria, we'll provide the object name, uh, and then that's all. We will return the row, complete row. So to return complete row, so we can use in object function, right? So we have one option called return object. So to return complete row or complete record information, we can use this object. So this is all about the global functions. So if we observe the naming convention for this global function, right? So for object function, we doesn't have adf dot util dot, but when it comes to global function, so we will get this adf dot util dot. and then followed by object function name, and then the parameters. But for object function, only we doesn't get this adf.util. So that's the only difference between the global function and object functions while calling.